is the top 10 under 23 transfers.
Yeah, we're not really moving on
So
from transfers, are we?
we're not, because there's a lot to be talked still,
Yeah.
and we wanted to make a list in our opinions. Important to say,
Yeah.
what are the top 10 transfers of under 23? Before you see the video, guys, go comment what are the best under 23 deals that you think should be on this list, okay? And then see if we put it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, maybe we should have. We don't know. So I'll start here with my 10th.
Sure.
And my 10th is Konate. Ibrahim Konate, that
Okay.
went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Why? Because, first of all, he answers the call of Liverpool needing a center back.
Mhm.
And it gives him depth. I'm not going to say he's going to be over Joe Gomez every game, but I do believe the moment that he kind of gets the groove at Anfield,
Yeah.
he'll settle in. And Van Dijk and Konate, next to each other,
Mhm.
two huge beasts. Corner kicks, free kicks, any kicks, those guys are beasts.
Yeah.
So he's in my number 10 spot.
I like that, and I'll raise you a center back. My number 10 is Fikayo Tomori. So obviously, it didn't
Okay.
happen on the last day. Obviously, there was a loan before that. May have already broken the rules of this top 10 U23 transfers. But no, I mean, Fikayo Tomori, I mean, it comes down to that whole Chelsea business thing. Their center back contingent essentially getting older and older, right? And understandably. And the AC Milan just saw a gem, polished a gem, gave him a chance, and now he's probably a shoe-in for being one of the top center backs in Serie A.
Yeah.
Not the, but one, and definitely up there, top two, top three when it comes to young center backs. So I just love kind of the narrative and the story behind that. In terms of Tomori not really being able to get much game time with Chelsea. The narrative actually starting to support the fact that he was expendable at Chelsea. He goes to AC Milan, has a great start, and boom, now he's a rock in their center of defense moving forward, and they're going to need it with that Champions League group.
I
So
agree.
that's my
I agree.
10.
I agree. And Tomori, like, people will see him soon in that England national team if he picks England. So, like, he's got it. Tomori has got it. So, actually, my number 9 is kind of linked to all these players, and it's Tammy Abraham.
Okay.
I love him, and seeing Mourinho actually picking a youngster makes it so exciting for me, because youngsters, Mourinho, perfect combination.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
But it'll work out well. And I did expect that, because Tammy is the type of player that he likes a poacher, okay, that has the awareness to drift off and to stay in the middle. The type of player like an Eto, like a Milito, like a Drogba. Tammy Abraham fits the bill, and that's why I think Mourinho and Tammy will work out well. That's why he's in my number 8 spot.
Yeah.
Number 9
Number
spot.
9.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I actually have him higher up. So I'll tell you, I have him at 7. Because I think, Mourinho, after losing Dzeko, I think he's going to play him through his dry spells. I think he's going to play him through, through thick and thin there. And he's almost even come out and said so. So I think that's a really, really good shout. And I think he's kind of a shoe-in for 10 to 15 goals. Hopefully, they're obviously hoping more in Serie A. But he's clearly gotten off to a really, really, really nice start in there. And I can't wait until Spinazzola gets healthy, and you get all their weapons pushing forward, and he's going to get good service there. So that's a good one. Well, my number 9 is a little bit different, and it's almost like a blast from the past if you're a Premier League fan. I went with Nikola Vlasic.
Okay.
And it's funny, his last name is like a big brand of pickles here in the United States. So it's always weird. I never know how to say it. But West Ham, I know West Ham spent 35 million or so on Zuma. They spent another 30 on Vlasic from CSKA Moscow. And I just want to see from a narrative perspective how he can actually change things. Obviously, you're not getting Jesse Lingard back if you've got Vlasic. But he was essentially running a relatively strong CSKA Moscow attack, and doing so effectively. He was probably the best player in the Russian league two seasons running, right?
Mm-hmm.
And him with West Ham, I really like, with a shuttler like Antonio up top that can clean pretty much anything up and is strong and can be passed to, and just so many good qualities that West Ham has moving forward. I think he's going to actually knock it out of the park the second time around, because we know that when he went to Everton, it didn't work out at all.
It didn't, and there was loads of expectations for him. So yeah. I was listening to that. I was like, will it work out again? I hope it does, man. Like, it's there. You go. Yeah, you want to? I'll go with my eighth now. My eighth position, and I think it's a really good call, and that is Manuel Locatelli.
There you go.
I'll be honest. This is the type of player that easily can be in the top 5.
Sure.
But this transfer window was so stacked that a type of player like Locatelli that balled out in that Italian midfield in the Euros. Okay, he didn't start every game because they were stacked with Jorginho, Verratti. Come on, like, it's I get you. Yep. So Locatelli at Juve, he'll start, and they needed something right there in midfield last season. And having a player that knows what it takes at Juventus and is in a needed spot, I think it can work out really well with Allegri. Sure. So I'm very excited, and I put him in my 8th spot.
Yeah, what a player! I mean, his ascendancy recently has just been really fun to watch. And like you said, he started the first game, and then a little bit of a crowded midfield in the Euros, but hey, the best midfield at the Euros, and they ended up winning the Euros, and he totally played the role phenomenally well, and he will get his chances at Juve. So 8 for me is another center back. I go pretty center back heavy here. Cootie Romero to Tottenham. He's aggressive as hell. I watched him quite a bit during the Copa America. Unfortunately, he was injured for some of it, so he didn't really get he ended up winning the Copa America. And he's just a really good piece for Tottenham to kind of rebuild around their defense, right? Their defense around. And, you know, it's funny that we say this while there's this whole quarantine thing going on right now. They went to, Cootie Romero went to join Argentina for their big World Cup qualifiers. They play Brazil in a couple hours. And they're going to have this 10-day or 14-day mandated quarantine period. So we probably won't even see him that much in a Spurs shirt for a while. But I really like what they've been doing, is because with Spurs, they signed Romero, and immediately Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez, they've already been playing better than they had in like the 1 or 2 seasons prior on average, So having that collective group that is a whole lot younger than the Vertonghen's of old, the Toby Alderweireld. Alderweireld. Okay. Having a younger crew that is going to be moving together, being aggressive and incredibly expressive, I think is going to be really good. He's the reigning Serie A Defender of the Year. I mean, it's a good addition. I don't know why it's low at 8. It probably should be higher, but it's a big deal.
He's in my 7th. Like I put Romero in my 7th spot, leading up to what you said, because it's all what you said. It's the impact that Romero is going to have at Tottenham. It's what you said. Dyer is now looking a much better center back, and Davinson Sanchez is looking like a much better center back. Yeah. But Romero is going to be the guy, and I'm expecting it. So Tottenham fans, be excited. Like this is that was a good deal done by the club.
Very good.
So he's in my 7th position.
Okay, sure. and my 7 is Tammy Abraham, so we can.
So there you go. So
from there. Who's your 6?
So my 6 is Kamavinga.
Okay.
I was surprised that Kamavinga left the way he did. Okay, it was I think there would be more hype with him, honestly. Yeah. And the truth is, Real Madrid saw that they weren't going to get Mbappe, and straight away they drifted their focus into Kamavinga, and it was fast. Fabrizio Romano put it out. Kamavinga was at Real Madrid. So these guys know what they do, and that's why they're the Galacticos, okay? Because management-wise, they know what they need to do, and yeah, Kamavinga is the start of a rebuild,
Yeah.
like extending Valverde, like
Casemiro.
picking the pieces exactly. Casemiro. There's another extension there too. I can't remember which one, but like Valverde was the biggest one until 2027,
Yeah.
and Camavinga, Casemiro, and Valverde. That is Real Madrid's trio in the next 5 years. So, a la Madrid, be excited, guys, and yeah, that's my number 6.
Yeah, and he's not my number 6. He's a little higher up, and a lot of it's probably because of my attachment to kind of reading up about him and learning about him, and he's just such a positive force. You know, this is a kid, another refugee that came. I believe he's Angolan refugee.
Angola, yeah.
Yeah, came. They obviously had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to get there, and he's now essentially making good for his family, right? And first off, the price from a business perspective for Real Madrid is just unbelievable. 31 million for the potential that he has, and not to mention he's pretty close to world class now as it stands. But also got to credit Stade Rennais for once again building a phenomenal prospect. Okay, like they do so regularly, and not wanting to get in his way. Right? They knew he wanted this move, and they didn't say, no, you have to give us 45. To the point where it almost feels like Stade Rennais got fleeced when it comes to the actual price, but we know his contract was coming up soon. So, he's going to move out of the limelight, where at Rennes, he was the star of the midfield, right? And he's going to essentially turn into kind of tutelage mode, right? He is going to be tutored by these guys that have several years, Valverde and Casemiro, many more years, but like a Modric, you're going to have these guys take him under the wing. And it's kind of great to see. Oh, and Tony Cruz, right? Too. So I like it, but he's my number 3. But I did a really bad job at ranking these.
There you go. So who's your 6?
My 6 is Upamecano, and we don't really need to talk about that because I think he's already shown there's going to be a growing pains with some of these guys. Upamecano's already kind of gone through that stage, but Bayern obviously is starting to look more and more like the Bayern that we expect. And even more interesting is the whole. This is a broader problem I have with the Bundesliga. Just being the fact that you're able to get Nagelsmann, and then Nagelsmann's able to get Sabitzer and Upamecano like that. Where is the competitive collusion that keeps these guys out of their hands, right? Bayern is going to win 15, 16 in a row until these teams decide to stop selling them their best players or insisting they have to go elsewhere other than Bayern.
I agree.
I agree.
That was something that did confuse me. Nagelsmann, Sabitzer, and Upamecano going to Bayern. That is like, there's no. It's just Dortmund now. Yeah. It's just Dortmund. But they still, like next topic we're going to talk about, they still did good money managing that money. So my number 5 was Hakimi. Okay. I don't need to talk too much about Hakimi, but truth is, like, Hakimi is top 5 in my opinion right backs in the world. So PSG, by getting him, they're investing in the future and in the present. So another player that it's extremely exciting to see. And my 4, going with the 5 and the 4, for Upamecano. Okay. Konate was my 10th, Upamecano my 4th. Okay. I think it makes sense. Upamecano is I won't say much better, but he's a better player right now. Okay. And it's what I like most about him is the way how he can be so like speedy in terms of brute. Like he's got that acceleration and the tackle and the awareness. Like Upamecano against Haaland. Okay. There was a Bayern against Dortmund recently, and Upamecano had an amazing job stopping Haaland. So yeah, there you go. Top 3.
Oh yeah, you want to keep going? Do your top 3?
Oh no. Sorry.
No, I mean I just think it is funny if Upamecano can stop the 6'4", brute force of Haaland coming at you. That's a good good indication of things to come, and he's only going to get better as long as he stays healthy. And the funny thing is maybe he'll even keep Emmanuel Neuer in place, right? Neuer in place, so he's not dribbling all over the place, because Upamecano likes to do that every once in a while. All right, well, my 5 is a guy that I don't even feel qualified to talk about because he's such a favorite of yours. Okay, my 5 is Nuno Mendez. And I didn't do number 1. I didn't do number 3. I didn't do number 4. And the real reason is that this is a loan. This is essentially, for me, it's like a trial period to see, is he ready for the jump? Now, some people call Liga ON a farmer's league. We obviously don't necessarily agree with that, but Nuno Mendez is going to essentially join a team that has Champions League aspirations, Champions League expectations, and he's going to fight with, I believe it's Abdou Diallo and Juan Bernat, right, for left back duties, and he's going to win, and we're going to see him front and center the whole season, and I am very excited for that. But I have him as a 5 because Hakimi, for me, putting 60 million in up front to a guy that they are surefire, they know he is going to be a piece of their future, I felt like that was deserved of higher to the top of the top 10. So 5 is Nuno Mendez, and I just want to get your quick hot take on that. How do you feel about it?
Like, I'll be honest, Nuno Mendez is in my top 3 under 23 transfers.
Okay.
Like, no doubt. And just for starters remember when I told you that Nuno Mendez for sure wouldn't leave for 30 million?
Yeah.
For sure. Okay? And this is what you didn't notice, I see. It was 47 million.
Was it
7 million to pay the loan.
Sure.
And 40 million. I'm going to say it. Nuno Mendez is number 1 young left backs in the world. I'm going to say ahead of Alphonso Davies right now.
Oof.
I am.
No.
I am going to say it.
Yeah.
And again, in the future, in a year's time, I'm going to say 6 months. I think it'll be enough. People are going to be saying, oh my days, he was right.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, fair enough. I'm going to respectfully disagree on the Fonzie Davies. I still think Davies has got him, especially if he stayed healthy over the last 12, 18 months. But
and can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I say this?
Sure.
Just like Bruno Fernandes leaving Sporting for 60 million is a bargain now, Nuno Mendez leaving for 40 million Sporting is going to be seen as a joke in the future.
It is.
I'm putting that expectations in I'm putting those You'll see. You will see that kid is going to be one of the top. This is a simple argument, in my opinion. How much do you pay for a top 3 left back in the world? How many top? Like, it's so.
Go for right
and
now?
Right now we have right backs for days, but left backs we don't have too much.
Yeah.
So I see that, and for me, getting a left back maybe is more important than getting that right back spot.
Fair
so.
enough.
I'm because Baker, like last Champions League, Neymar was yelling at Baker saying, I need a left back. And trust me, Messi, con Nuno Mendez, Messi with Nuno Mendez, that is going to look beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm excited to see it. I don't mean, I do understand it's 7 million up front and 40 at the end, but it's not necessarily an obligation to buy, is what I'm aware of, correct? It's
if he gets injured.
Well, yeah, okay. Exactly. But it's not like they are definitely going to pay the 40 million. It's like if he's worth 80 by the end of the loan, they're only paying 40. And frankly, Sporting did a stupid deal. And I still think Sporting did a stupid deal because I feel like the valuation of him was 60 to 80 just 6 to 12 months ago. So I don't understand really what happened there unless
there was he extended his contract, which was from 40 or 45 to 70 million. Okay. And that was a big standpoint. And at that point, that's when I thought, okay, Sporting are really going to try to make him the world's most expensive left back in the world, because it was Ben Chilwell, the highest paid transfer ever. I think it was 55 million, roughly 52, 55.
Yeah.
And I honestly do believe that getting Nuno Mendez for the same price is a better deal. I'm people think I'm crazy because you haven't seen him, man. And you're gonna wait, everyone in England, you're gonna see Nuno Mendez against Man City, and Man City fans, you're gonna be thinking, what? This is the guy we needed at the left. So I'm hyped for when that comes. So I'm just gonna say my top 3 because we're going year around.
We're going everywhere.
Yeah, my top 3 under 23 transfers are Nuno Mendez, Sancho, and Donnarumma.
Okay.
Donnarumma's my number 1. Come on, best players in the Euros. If that guy moves, he's the best in any list.
Yeah,
so there
I'm
you go.
All right. Well, my 4 was Kamavinga. My top 3 is Sancho, Donnarumma, and I actually have Hakimi as number 1. I do.
What?
I do.
Hakimi ahead of Donnarumma, Mil.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I because they have Keylor Navas, but I get it. That's a glut. That's a glut in the positional standpoint. They needed a right back. This is the one they paid 60 million euros for. I get it. The salaries are high. But up front, this is who they made their upfront investment in. I just said upfront a bazillion times. Sorry. True. So, and let's be honest, Hakimi, I think Nuno Mendez is a better defender than Hakimi on the left side. Hakimi, though, is a bomber forward, and so is Nuno Mendez. But I'm just looking at that, and they're likely going to have to move to a 3 center back, potentially, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to, for all intents and purposes, they're attacking wingers. I mean, come on. Yeah. And these games, it feels like almost PSG is going to be winning games 6'2", 5'4", 8-1, because it feels like offense is the best defense. But also, Nuno, Kimpembe, Sergio Ramos, Marquinhos, and Hakimi. How do you feel about that as your spine? That's good.
That's a Champions League winning team. That is a Champions League winning team. And this is what I find so interesting. The biggest problem of PSG last season not to get the Champions League was the fullbacks. Now, PSG is arguably one of the top 3 teams with fullbacks in the world. Yeah. Like, in my opinion, they're my favorite duo, Nuno Mendez and Hakimi, okay?
Fair enough.
Attacking-wise, Hakimi is perfect. Defensive, he's not the best. But Nuno, they'll compensate more on Hakimi's end. But that was good to see.